Yeah. Then you're on?
Not bad. See right here, my merge lane's ending. I don't got no traffic. Just squeeze right over like it's nothing.
Yeah, you know it's going to be enforced over the weekend. We got construction, got a click here ticket.
Fourth gear's almost better right now.
Gotta have the map light. If I wasn't plugged into the cigarette light, I could plug in the little Harbor Freight light.
I can tell the difference between this engine and the EJs. This one just doesn't have no torque in 2000. I mean, right now with the ECS light on, it just doesn't have no torque in 2000. I was doing 45 and 5th and gassed on just a little bit, just looked down and see my tach was falling. Like, what? I had to hit fourth.
Yeah.
You know, the EJs, you don't have to. You can just, you know, unless you really need to accelerate, then yeah, you need to downshift. But, you know, if you're in 5th and 45, that's about perfect. You know, you can accelerate, maintain, or decelerate. Zanny Dook had his car for a couple months before he realized there was a cup holder in it.
He's talking about cigarettes.
And the cigarettes on the EJ door handle is good as to hold them. You just set your cigarettes and lighter right there in your door handle. You see, you can't do that with the EA, is, you know, it's got a different style handle.
Yeah, I pointed that out to Zanny Dook in his plaza. Something we drove past. It's not the car. That's too ripe or organic to be the car. The only thing that can come moderately close to is like, clutch! No, well, yeah, anyway, I pointed out to Zanny Dook. One day is like, you know, I was driving around your car, it's like, whoa, there's a cup holder and shit. You know, Zanny Dook's, I never, you know, paid attention to it. So I was riding with Zanny Dook, I was like, hey, Zanny Dook, check this out. Fucking pulled out the cup holder, he's like, whoa! You know, he's driving his car like a couple months of shit and fucking didn't know about fucking cup holder.
See, Zanny Dook's kind of like my brother Don, my bub. They're kind of like, they'll just buy a car and drive it. Whereas you and I are more like, we'll buy a car and like try to get to know the car, like all the little secret compartments, all the little shit that, you know, just your everyday passenger's not going to notice, and drive the car. You know, I like to drive my car and work on my shit at the same time, but Zanny Dook and Don, they kind of don't much care to get their hands dirty, which is alright. You know, I mean, shit, I work on their cars. You know, keeps people like us in business. You know, people like them keep people like us prosperous.
Well, Zanny Dook's starting to get some hands-on with his shit, you know.
Yeah, Don's
change
like, he don't want to get dirty, so he don't do shit like that. But Zanny Dook's more like, he don't know about it, so he don't want to fuck nothing up, so he won't try it. But once he gets to know about it, then he's not afraid to do it.
Well, Don, if it comes down to it, he'll take action. Same with Zanny Dook. Like, for example, remember that time he chunked his sidewall out in his Geo like a long time ago with a bunch of kids?
Yeah.
It was all snowing out and shit, all these cops come around. He was really the only one that was trying to, he kind of really didn't know what he's doing, but he was really the only one that was making any effort. Everybody was just standing around like, I'm cold.
Yeah. And then you and I got there and we fucking knew what to do, but we couldn't get the tire on. It was like fucking straight frozen onto the hub.
Did we try to heat that shit up with a torch and shit?
We tried all kinds of shit. We was beating on it, I was kicking it, you're up underneath the car beating on the fucking hammer, I'm kicking it and shit. That fucker straight would not come off the hub.
What'd it take to get it off?
I think we had to go use the carbola fucking on a warmer day or something, I don't know. We got it off that night, didn't we? And the carbola, we put the heater on it or something, parked it up next to the wood burner or something.
Yeah.
And let the whole car fucking thaw, and then fucking kicked it and beat it off of there, and fucking, we used a carbola tire changer, I think. Fucking kifed one of the grandpa's tires, put it on Don's rim, aired it up, like, there you go. He was back on the road. I think I let him drive my car or something while we were fixing his. Something like that. I think I was in this car, but it was still the Moyoss Feece sedan with all the lights all over it and shit. Had the gauges all hooked up too.
Speaking of cold winter time and changing tires, tell them about the time about we was Baja'n, popped the tire on the RX and shit on the front. And it was all fucking, we're about to get blizzarded in and shit.
Yeah. I had the car then, didn't I? Or was you talking about the time Josh blew out a tire?
Yeah.
And we had to like dig underneath them because we couldn't get the car up in the air.
Like one other person like Jay Wall or Bill Ayers.
I think it was Don. Me, you, Josh, and Don or something.
I don't know if it was Don.
Off-roading, Josh got a flat on the back or front or something. We had to like jack the car up as much as we could. We maxed out the jack and it like sunk so much. We had to like dig underneath the tire and then pull the tire off, put the good one on and fucking let the shit off the jack.
Dude, what was the weather like?
It was fucking snowing.
It was all fucking windy. Our hands kept getting cold. We had to like take turns. I had to like dig lug nuts out of the snow, you know, and shit. Trying to thread them on, all iced up, cold ass fingers and shit. All ice packed up inside of the lug nut.
I remember I was in this car and I was fucking Baja. It was like me, Don. Yeah, I think you was out there in trash wagon. Might have been a couple other people in my car. What? Might have been like 2 other people in this car. And I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get up the small little hill there. Not, you know where the roller coaster hill's at?
Yeah.
On the other side of that, coming up, you know, just that gradual hill. I couldn't get up that fucker. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm in low range and shit, and I'm all at the top of second gear. I'm like, dude, I bet I got a fucking flat tire. And I backed off the hill onto something that was somewhat level, and it was snowing out too, real bad. I got out and looked, and sure enough, my driver's side front tire was all fucking flat and shit. I'm like, fuck, dude, I had to change my tire out there. That sucked, because your hands are like, you know, your shit just gets so numb that you're holding on to the lug nut, you can see it's in your hand, but you can't feel it. You're trying to, you can't get it on right because you can't feel the shit. That was kind of sucky.
Yeah, well, by that time, Robert was Baja. He was like a lap and a half before he realized his tire was flat. So, yeah, get sideways.
I was driving his shit. He let me drive his wagon for the first time, and I'm like, whoa, this thing's really, really ass happy.
Dude, it was flat before you got in it, though.
And then I was like, didn't the tire come off the rim or something?
It pretty much did, yeah.
We look over, the tire's fucking passing the car, and we're like, whoa, dude, we got a flat. That was fucked up. Ronice made like a whole lap, and I made like a quarter lap or a half lap. I'm like,
dude, he made a whole lap with the tire flapping before you got it. Then you got it, the tire came off completely. And
then he's all like, oh, you threw my tire off the rim.
I was following you guys.
He was the one that was just fucking straight fucking, what was he doing?
Peeling out inside the tire. Thought he was getting sideways just because it was, couldn't keep.
Just because the speedo was moving out.
Yeah.
He was like fucking just straight reefing on his shit. Beating on it with that, he was fucking flogging it.
Did he have dual exhausts on it?
I don't remember if he did or not. He was just straight flogging that fucker with that flat tire, and I get in it and I'm like, this thing's all ass happy, this thing's kind of flat. If I would have said anything, how long would he would have been Baja, you know?
Were you with me that time I had a flat in the DL and fucking put on a spare donut and it was fucking flat, so I drove on it anyway. And shredded, tore up my fucking wheels, fender and shit.
I think so. In the spew?
No, it was in the fucking DL, that white one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought you were talking about the spew you owe. I seen you that one time we gave you the donut out of my mom's car, which was Don's car before he bought it. Never didn't fit, like the lug nuts like bottomed out on the stud before the rim was tight. You're driving that shit, fucking rims all wallowing out in the holes.
I was taking Vanessa Kimball home thinking it was like something else. I never gave it a thought, I think it was a lug nuts. Coming to Butler like blam, tire just falls off. I had to drive that shit on like the hub, on the rotor, didn't I? I drove that shit right on the rotor.
You fucking straight drove on the rotor.
I left a little trench all across town. You can see it cutting the ground all through the car bowl and shit.
Fuck yeah.
Eli said he could tell where I was. Yeah, she drove on the rotor though, alright.
A little weak ass fucking
old Trash Wagon 6, she rolled on her rear rotors too.
Trash Wagon 6 did?
Yeah. There's no backing plate on that one rotor when that tire fell off. Got stuffed up into a rusty quarter and fucking popped it.
Didn't it fucking skid up on one of the lug nuts?
Like, dude, we don't have a jack. And I said, we don't have a spare tire. The best we can do is put this fucking pop tire on, but we don't have a jack. So we had to pull over or wave somebody down, get a jack. So I got something about a tire. I was like, yeah, I said I can jack one from somebody, but the thing is, there ain't no Subarus around here to jack one from. So I was like, yeah, we'll just drive home on the fucking rim.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was fun.
Made it like, what, to the BP or something? And then we're like, let's take the tire off the rim.
That shit was beating the fuck out of the fender and tore off the trim behind the quarter there and shit.
Yeah, that fucking tire was just beating the shit out of that car.
So it's like, yeah, let's try to get the rest of this tire off, but we couldn't get the bead to come off it.
And then we felt like, fuck it, let's go up to Leo.
Yeah, then we got to Leo.
We went to Leo, and then we fucking took the tire
I pulled
off.
in that gas station by the air pump, did like a little 180 pulling up into it. All sideways and shit, right up to the motherfucker. Like, yep, our tire's flat. Jumped out, people vehicle looking all crazy. Like, of course it's flat. Ain't fucking no tire anymore.
How many people would have fucking just pulled over and been like, they just would have sat there not knowing what to do. Whereas where it's like, fuck it, let's put this flat tire on and drive
They would have
on
called
it.
a tow truck and not had their car.
And we drove like, how far did we drive? From Fort Wayne to Butler.
45 miles probably.
Fucking A. Anybody else would have just been like, I don't know what to do, I'll call somebody. We didn't have nobody to call, we didn't have no fucking tools.
Fuck it.
We gotta take what we got and get what we can get.
Say, hey, it still runs, it still drives, let's go.
That's right. Shit, fucking tire never stopped me, goddammit. Duckweiler, I'm driving on a rotor.